Hello, everyone, and welcome to our operational efficiency presentation. How would you describe your central station during peak traffic hours? Phones ringing, maybe operators shouting across the room at other operators? Is it somewhat chaotic? What about during a storm with lots of power failures and trouble signals? Fun times. Does your team ever get frustrated with stressful situations? Perhaps having to do extra tasks, reading too many customer comments, or perhaps just the very redundancy within the work that we do. Do your operators make mistakes handling events despite all your efforts to train and educate them? Do you ever wonder what you can do to improve our overall efficiency? Central station personnel face many challenges during the day-to-day operations. During this session, we'll discuss a variety of things for you to consider to help improve your overall operator efficiency. We're focused on three categories: your processes, your staff, technology, and most important, the customer. Truly understanding your central station operations and the challenges the team faces is the best way to determine where and what may be needed. 24/7, 365, your employees face a wide variety of situations that require operational excellence. There are a variety of different methodologies that businesses can use to best understand where opportunities exist to improve efficiencies. These are the most common places to begin addressing operational issues. The operator. Operators are truly the heart of your operation. They are the voice of your company. They may be the only person your customer ever speaks to. Finding the right person is critical. Hiring the right person ensures limited turnover and opportunities for career pathing within your company and even our industry. Wouldn't it be great to be able to promote knowledgeable, experienced employees from within your own company? Measuring performance of your staff is also very important. And recognizing those who excel creates a positive work environment. A motivated staff, an environment where people really want to work, and a motivated, valued staff leads to greater productivity overall. Technology. Leveraging technology and alarm automation wherever and whenever possible is critical for operational efficiencies. I remember the first time I walked into a monitoring center that really wasn't leveraging hardly any of the technology that was available. And those of you that have kids have ever seen the game Hungry Hungry Hippos, where you're frantically pressing on the lever and your hippo is grabbing marbles out of the middle? That's what it reminded me of. People were clicking on the alarm cue, trying to get alarms. It was a busy period and they were getting error messages because the alarm was already on someone else's screen. It made me laugh. So leveraging technology really will lead to efficiency and the flexibility to have the software and tools work for you and not the other way around. And don't forget your telephone system. Is the phone system's interactive voice response up to date and routing calls correctly? How often do you even test that? Are you fully leveraging all the features of your phone system? Some systems offer skills-based routing. You can have phone queue overflow or in different routing options, maybe during peak times. Other people are able to answer and help answer, monitoring center phone calls. Your processes. Having processes that are clearly understood by everyone in your organization is critical. What departments are responsible for what tasks in your organization? Important information for central station operators who field all kinds of calls other than the traditional false alarm calls, callbacks from alarms. Having the tools necessary to support your operational process, as well as a very specific process for training of the employees. And then the customer. It's important to know who your customers are and what their expectations are. The average customer may not even understand our processes and what we are required to do by the local authorities having jurisdiction over our processes and the systems they have in their homes and businesses. Maybe it's their first alarm system. What about customer education and training on their equipment and understanding the events we are monitoring? Providing customers with a simple what to expect from your alarm company type document is a real effective way to educate the customers. Measuring your customers' alarm traffic, understanding what causes nuisance alarms, and eliminating them will also improve operator efficiencies. Process. So having clearly documented process and procedures that are understood by everyone is vital to operational efficiencies. Does your software easily support your processes? How are your employees trained? Making sure everyone understands the day-to-day type of details is crucial to operator efficiency. Do all your operational shifts operate on the same processes? I was in a monitoring center once and I was shocked to find that 3 different shifts handled a variety of things differently. When I asked why, they said, well, because we're the overnight shift, or we're second shift, we're swing shift. Daytime does it differently. We do it our way. I'm like, oh my goodness. Operational consistency is important for positive customer experience. Whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you've got to be consistent with your quality service and your processes. Let's dive a bit further and talk about your standard operating procedures and documentation. Are all of your current processes documented? Consistency is key to operator efficiency. Not only do you establish clarity and set standards by documenting and implementing your processes, it also protects the company. Here are just a few examples of why it's important to document your processes. Operational consistency and redundancy reduces risk when key talents leave or are unavailable. Business process improvement can only be done with accurate process documentation. Operational consistency by documenting, auditing, and enforcing those processes. Operational efficiency by reducing performance variance through operational consistency. And then acquisition requirements often include detailed process documentation. For those of you that do acquisitions, a lot of stories there I've heard. I've done a number of acquisitions over the year, but there's things that you learn to look for to make sure that you've got everything processed and you're documenting well, and makes it a smooth transition for that customer when they go from one alarm monitoring company to another. Client requirements often include process documentation, especially for outsourcing and regulated industries. Some national customers will even have folks that do contract enforcement, vendor evaluations, things of that nature. So it's important. Risk mitigation to enforce and show compliance with industry requirements such as HIPAA, CCPA, or GDPR. Patents and trade secrets need to be detailed process documentation for both filing and for defense. There are several tools on the market that can help you with documentation and outlining the processes, as well as templates to get you started if you haven't done this in the past. If you're not sure where to start, try outlining your most common high-level processes, and then you can expand to there for more detailed ones. Standard operating procedures help your company run smoothly and effectively. The SOP allows you to define how your operators manage all alarm situations. There are many reasons to have a quality SOP. Here are just a few. Ensuring compliance to company standards, maximizing production requirements, ensuring procedures have no adverse impact on the environment or customers, ensuring safety, ensuring compliance to standards and regulations, preventing failures, and training. We're going to pause now for a quick poll and find out how many of you have established SOPs in your organization. We'll put a poll up on the screen now and give you a few moments to make your selection. We'll just give it a few more seconds to finish up and answer. And then we can take a look at the results. Terrific numbers. That's great. I'm great to see 75% have them in their regular review. That's awesome. So you don't have an established SOP in your organization. It might be time to think about implementing one. We strongly encourage companies to schedule and plan time to review the SOP every year. You could do this along with your disaster recovery plan review. Your SOP review should include frontline personnel and group leadership as well. This allows you to address kind of the boots on the ground impact of the processes. Your frontline workers really will feel invested, and quite honestly, they know the issues and the challenges they face every day. Maybe you already realize you need to do this, but what steps are you ensuring to make sure it happens? Your teams will eventually really come to value and respect that SOP. Everyone, looks at it like it's the holy grail. They'll take it very seriously. Have you implemented measures, ways to measure against those important aspects of the SOC so that at the end of the year, you can reflect and determine where successes and opportunities may be? Measuring against, combined with the review and update, increases overall operational efficiency. When was the last time you measured things that weren't obvious? How many low priority alarms do you receive in a month? It may be handled differently with automation. How many nuisance alarms, or what about telephone calls other than those that alarm related staff handles that ends up handling it? Make a list of these things you can measure. Ask your staff what are the biggest nuisances are that they face on a daily basis. Ensure you track these items when it comes time to review and update your SOP. You have hard data and facts to drive the changes. It seems like a lot of work, so how do you get started? First, ensure you have your executive leadership team's sponsorship to give you the authority to drive the process of reviewing and making these necessary changes. If you're an executive, find that eager, talented person to lead the effort and establish a realistic timeline to complete it. Then identify your key stakeholders who will be involved with the project team. It's critical to get everyone's buy-in, and then also can enhance interdepartment camaraderie as well, involving all the other departments. Think of your SOP as a customer success plan. You can literally document everything from the moment the customer signs that contract up to the installation, how the signals are going to be handled, service requests, even customer safe tactics when they call in to cancel. So everyone is on the same page with every aspect of what you do in your business. Take the key insights from the data and identify where and how you can make changes to the SOP to benefit the operations and the customer. Finally, make those changes, document what was changed for record keeping, and then you can establish this SOP process similar to your annual budgeting process. It'll help ensure the best practice changes are being made to ultimately help your organization run smoother. Process is a big bucket, and creating and or updating your SOPs is a large step. So let's take a look at a very specific example that's maybe a bit more in the weeds. Have you given thought to all the types of events that are presented to operators? How many different events they receive and need to interpret? It can be overwhelming. There are times even when operators receive an event that's maybe not the event that it should be. Signal translations are vital. If operators can't trust the events presented, they will be less efficient at processing alarms. There are other events that may not require operator intervention. Historically, we viewed making these excessive notification calls as good customer service. However, it is possible to scale and continue to make these calls that go on often unanswered. How many of these events can be managed using some of your automation or notification tools available in the software? You can look at a variety of these types of things and even ask the customer, would you mind getting a text message about this? Can we email you for a variety of notifications? Establish new standards for these types of low priority events and then communicate those to your customers, alarm dealers, and installers. Provide your customers the options of alternative notifications. Some customers love electronic cancellation. Don't call me if I cancel the alarm in so many seconds, where others, they want that phone call every single time so they know that we're responding quickly and that we're there, for their safety and protection. But not everyone needs and wants telephone calls. So again, including these in your SOP as well, educating everyone on your standards, you can make sure an operator won't make any mistakes when those types of events are reported. This ensures your customers get the best possible and overall streamline your operator's workflow while reducing possible errors. Operators are the heart of the operation. Without our operators, alarm systems are nothing but a control box, a bunch of wires and devices. So finding the right person here is critical. Right person, right seat, we always say. There are a lot of employee selection tools out there that can help. Going with your gut when hiring doesn't always work out, and the cost of a bad hire can be in excess of $25,000. I've always believed in hiring the heart and training the rest. It's really hard to teach an employee to care. But if you find that caring person, you can easily teach them our alarm industry. The detailed and dedicated employee welcome program is the best way to show that new hire that we value that they came on board with us. An employee welcome package is a nice touch too. You can provide them with company logo wear, mugs, pens, having them meet the new team on day one, their supervisor, their manager, the trainer, providing a company overview. Where did you come to work? Share the core values of your organization. Really generate some excitement. They go home that day excited to tell everyone this great place that I just came to work at. A documented training program is also critical. We suggest a structured mix of classroom and then practical hands-on application that will really work well. Do you have a training gym or a test server to simulate alarm handling? What about an alarm panel board in the training room? How many of you utilize the TMA level 1 training, which gives you a great core understanding of why we do what we do? And training really, it can become part of your company's culture, not just a scheduled event. And tracking that trainee's progress, measuring the performance of the entire staff too is important. Rewarding those who excel creates a positive environment where people feel appreciated and motivated. A motivated staff leads to greater productivity and lowers overall employee turnover. Establish measurable goals and create some healthy competition amongst the different teams or shifts. Besides measuring just the quantitative performance of staff, quality is also important. How do your operators sound? When your customer answers the alarm verification call, what will they hear? Will it be a friendly, caring voice? Measuring quality and quantity together and rewarding those who excel creates a real positive working environment. What other goals can you think of? What performance indicators can you measure and recognize? What's important to you, your customer, your company? What about accuracy, employee attendance, willingness to help out, train new employees, answer questions? Whatever they are, communicate those to the team. And everyone appreciates that recognition. When the employees are happy, you ultimately get better performance, which will again drive overall efficiency. Your goals and objectives for the staff can also contribute to your corporate culture, teamwork, and camaraderie. Important things that also drive operator efficiency and keep overall turnover low. Henry Ford once said, the only thing worse than training your employees and having them leave is not training and having them stay. A well-trained staff follows the SOP, makes better decisions, and ultimately helps the bottom line. A well-trained employee is confident, comfortable, and can handle the normal stress of working within a central station. Have you ever had an operator say out loud, "What does this signal mean?" Training is often an afterthought and has a direct impact on the success of an organization. Most studies recommend that an employee spends a minimum of 10% of their time on learning, and that number is realistically often less than 5%. Time for another poll. Do you have regular training sessions scheduled with your team? Go ahead and select your answer. We'll give you a few minutes here to make your choice. Okay, let's take a look at our results. We got some on an annual basis, 28% on a quarterly basis, 28% on a monthly, and about 40% without regular scheduled training. So look at scheduling regular training, monthly, quarterly, whatever those sessions are. It really will continue to help and educate the team. These training sessions could even include advanced training on the software you're all using today. Think of the technical aspect with alarm receiver training, high levels, so they really understand the flow and how alarms communicate to the monitoring center. Alarm panel technical training, maybe they work with your technical support team. Maybe ride-alongs in the field too, so they see the whole process and understand what happens when a technician goes out. effectively handling challenging situations, how to turn around angry customer situations, and how to even grow within your organization. That cross-functional training with other departments often helps build brand and company loyalty and ultimately reduces overall turnover. One item that slows alarm operator processing is comments. Very often comments are instructions on how to handle the customer's alarms or have maybe date and time implications for special behaviors or things to do. Your automation system should offer you programmatic ways to manage for most of those comments. Remember, you have less than 10 seconds to get your point across before people start to drift off. Also, when you repeatedly load the same comments over and over again, they begin to read what they believe is there and not what's actually there. Situational blindness is a real and present issue in operations today. There are some excellent videos on YouTube that step you through how to identify situational inattention or blindness. Let's watch one now. Our training team shows them to many of the leadership classes that we put on to demonstrate the reality of this. Our brains are wired to disregard things that may not seem pertinent or to our current needs, but in alarm operations, it's important to see beyond the mundane little nuances that make the difference. In addition to that situational blindness, listening skills are extremely important. As I said earlier, your monitoring staff makes that alarm real. One of my favorite stories is about a central station operator who contacted a home based on a burglar alarm that they received. The operator properly verified the alarm, asking for a password. The gentleman gave the proper password. But in the background, he heard a real muffled voice saying, "Help me, help me, help me." He hung up and decided to dispatch the police. As it turns out, it was the ex-husband who had answered the phone at the site. He had broken in and was attacking his ex-wife, and she hadn't bothered to update the password. The operator could have easily logged the alarm, valid password, if they weren't listening, really paying close attention. So listening and then visually, the same holds true with all the pop-up boxes and notes. They can end up being distractions and have a negative effect in process and efficiency. If you can automate any of those specific processes and remove the need for operators to have to read extra information to come to a decision, that will also drive efficiency. Certifications and continuing education credits can be a benefit to your business in the long run as well. UL and TMA offer excellent education opportunities. It can help you connect with other organizations that can ensure your team is better prepared for the work that they do. You may also have a third-party specialist like Bold Group come to your company and work with your team to review operational processes and systems you already have in place to discover better opportunities for improvement. The fall TMA course has always been awesome because it includes a tour with a hosting monitoring center. And back in 2007, I was fortunate enough to host a session and have folks come take a look at some of the neat things that I was doing with automation. And one of the couple made the comment, "How many accounts do you have? Where's the rest of your operators?" I said, "This is it. And here's the things that we're doing." So it is kind of neat to really share and to share ideas and options and ideas for operational excellence. Leveraging technology whenever it's possible creates opportunities to efficiently handle more activity with less staff. Do you utilize disaster mode or storm mode with your software? Kind of odd with our timing of this presentation as Hurricane Laura slammed into the Louisiana Gulf overnight. Segregating net alarm traffic from an area that's affected by weather or natural disaster allows you to maintain normal alarm operations for customers who are not in that affected storm area. Believe it or not, a customer in California could care less about what's going on in Louisiana, and I've had those customers yell at me in the past. Even utilizing multiple alarm queues for normal day-to-day operation allows more greater efficiency when handling, say, commercial versus residential customers. You could also create event codes with higher priorities than your standard priority if you need to provide certain customers with a higher level of response. Maybe elderly customers, you do a higher priority burglar alarm. People with, you have higher priority alarms for panic alarms. What if you know it's an elderly person with a medical pendant? You can make it even higher than a regular medical pendant. Just leveraging that technology to put your alarm handling steps into different buckets too. That initial alarm verification steps and potential dispatch, most critical first stages, and those happen kind of quickly. Customers often judge the quality of your service by how quickly that phone rang. But at a business, as opposed to a residence, the business, they may not even answer the phone. Why? We're not open yet, even though they set the alarm off. So calling a residence quickly is more important than calling a business quickly in some cases. And then calling that dreaded emergency contact list can take much, much longer. Do you have times when everyone happens to be notifying on an alarm and then new burglary signals start to come in and potentially could be delayed? Maybe you're yelling out, burglar alarm's waiting everyone because they're in process with their notification call lists. You could assign operators to handle those initial verification steps, change the priority of the alarm for that notification, and let someone else handle that, kind of divvying up the team, if you will. Having one system as a master for your data also leads to greater efficiency and flexibility to have the software and tools work for you and not the other way around. Are your billing and monitoring systems integrated? Do you have a single point of data entry? There have been many advancements in technology solutions invented to make security technology better. In the last few years, several billion-dollar purchases have been made to claim control of the consumer market for security devices. You're already using many systems to help drive efficiency, but when was the last time you did an audit to determine, is there crossover or redundancies? Are all of your operators trained on the different systems to ensure they're using them to their full capability? Having a single point of control is awesome as well if you're integrating things into your platform. Sometimes leaders will purchase shiny new platforms and add-ons, but forget they aren't maybe the ones who utilize them, and your operators don't necessarily have time to deal with complicated software. By ensuring the right technologies are being used and the operators trained efficiently can really help reduce and eliminate those inefficiencies. Some software platforms through automation can help eliminate inefficiencies. The best software will have important features such as customizable action plans, scripts, and the ability to integrate with advancing alarm technologies. Customers, my favorite. The whole reason we are in this life safety business. Our industry is one of the few that combines life safety with good customer service, in my opinion. In our industry, I always say we don't get a second chance to get it right. So you've got to get it right the first time. And I can't stress the importance of customer service training. Effectively handling difficult customer situations when the alarm is blaring in the background will also add to your operational efficiency. I mentioned knowing your customers earlier. How many of you have national or chain accounts? Train your staff on these top customer accounts. Who are they? What do they do? What's their business? Do they have special procedures? What are their expectations? Do they have service level agreements in place for alarm response or for service response? Maybe average speed of call when it comes to answering customer phone calls. How many of you acquire customers? Educating your staff on these acquisitions is important too. Recognizing those first signals from a newly acquired customer provides you the ability to say something to them, welcoming them to your alarm company's protection. And I always say, never use the phrase, "oh, we bought you." Saying that to a former Saying that to an alarm company, alarm customer who's new to you could be very upsetting. Saying instead that the former company merged with your company, you should have received a notification. It's much more positive statement. It makes the customer feel better about living a monitoring center where they're located. How well do you know your customer's data? You've heard it before, data is king, but how does that pertain to operator efficiency? Well, quality data entry and standards are important for operator efficiency. Do you have those standards for data entry? Have your data entry reps actually sat side by side with alarm operators to truly understand the importance of that data? Maybe your data entry staff must come from alarm monitoring, so they truly understand, as opposed to just, willy-nilly entering data and not having a care and concern because it doesn't affect their job. Are you currently analyzing the trends from customers' alarms? Measuring the traffic, understanding what causes nuisance alarms, and eliminating them will improve operator efficiencies. Also helps with staffing analysis to maintain desired alarm response times. There's nothing worse than watching response times climb because you're not adequately staffed, not to mention the added stress that will put on your central station staff as well. Spend some time understanding where the key trouble spots are. Do you have a group of commercial customers that continue to open early every day, ahead of schedule, generating alarms? Every day, right? Determine how you can mitigate those issues so your customer is not dealing with the calls over and over again. Neither is your central station staff. Reach out to the customer. We noticed that every day these 32 stores open up in advance. Can maybe change the schedule so that we're not making all these phone calls? As I said, they don't often answer the phone because they're not open yet. Did you know in the US over 50% of phone calls made go unanswered? Many of you probably even experienced an increase in unwanted robocalls yourself at home or on your cell phones. Our statistics gathered from Bowl Group customers that participate in our operational elite certification process indicate that number is really approximately 30% for our industry. That's still a substantial number of unanswered calls. When calculated, the hours lost to unsuccessful calls made, most organizations were spending nearly one full-time employee's salary each month making those calls. Calling excessively long contact lists for routine alarms is not efficient or effective either. Calling the same list multiple times slows response to other serious events. But take a look at your notification processes. Educate the customers on those. Can you call the call list once, we've left messages, we're finished, or do you really need to repeatedly call? Offer the customers options and what's going to work best for them and work best for you. Then maintaining that customer's emergency contact list is critical. Do you have procedures in place to determine if and when a contact list has been updated last? When the phone number is no longer valid, the person no longer works for that protected company, what do you do? Having a process to effectively maintain and update this information will add to operational efficiency. If you don't work with your customers to update that information, you'll waste valuable time trying to notify the customer about an alarm event. Every 6 months to a year, they should be reviewed and updated, but working out a process for that is up to you. Perhaps when handling low priority signals, you can ask the customer, hey, while I have you on the phone, can I just confirm the information we have is correct? Operators often need help dealing with the number of angry or scared customers they might encounter every day. An easy acronym to follow is LEAP. Listen, empathize, acknowledge, provide a solution. Be adaptable. In this industry, things change minute by minute for our operators. As an operator, it's important to change gears quickly based on a particular situation. Using positive language. Tell the customer what you can do, not what you can't. Offer suggestions for a positive outcome with the situation instead. Thank the customer for what they're saying and then tell them, I have a couple of situations for solving this issue if you can't actually do what they're requesting. Check in with yourself too. How often do you use no or not instead of more positive words? One easy to remember this is by writing these helpful tips on sticky notes, post them around your monitor so you can easily see them. Seeing the words stay positive can quickly help you become aware of your immediate interactions. It really takes a conscious effort to work in those statements of positivity, but it's really worth doing so. By using a positive approach, you will help drive efficiency of conversations with your customers and create a better customer experience while eliminating extended times on the phone that really wouldn't be necessary because you're working through the issue so much quicker. You can also help facilitate positive customer experiences by training your team to communicate clearly in easy to understand terms. This was probably my biggest pet peeve when I got into the industry many years ago, but avoiding jargon or acronyms as much as possible, using language that helps describe the situation, the issue in a way that a layperson will understand. A few of the most common terms that come to mind are, oh, we received an AC failure, and the customer says, I don't have air conditioning. OS&Y, the AHJ won't allow us. What is an AHJ? People don't understand what these things are. Empathetic listening responses that let the customer know you understand without saying I understand is also very beneficial. Hey, take a deep breath. The customer's not angry at you, of course. They're angry with the situation. Remember that leap, listen, empathize, acknowledge, provide a solution. After finishing with a particularly difficult situation, do your best to shake it off before going on to the next call. Each customer interaction your operators have is most likely that customer's first interaction of the day, the week, maybe the month. Who knows when the last time their alarm is activated and they're interacting with your company, but that's a true moment of truth there, and it can be a moment of magic with the customer. But for your employee, it's probably the 100th call they've taken today, so they don't treat each call like the first call of the day. Avoiding anticipating the customer's problems or words too. Being patient and letting them speak. We're all problem solvers and want to get through the call or the alarm as quickly as possible, but pause and listen to what the customer has to say and then respond. Follow up and follow through. If you promise a customer a response, your workday isn't over until you provide that response. Don't leave customers just hanging. And every day is a learning opportunity. Be willing to learn and to be curious. So let's just recap the 4 areas you can focus on within your organization to increase operator efficiency. Your process, having processes that are clearly understood by everyone in your organization, having the tools necessary to support your operational processes, as well as very specific processes for training of those employees. The operators are clearly the heart of the operation. They represent your company, they represent your brand, they represent your culture with your customers. Hiring that right person is critical. Having the right person ensures limited turnover, opportunities for career pathing in our industry. I've always said, make your central station the staffing agency for the rest of your company. It would be awesome to have that kind of career pathing within our industry. Measured performance. Inspect what we expect. Employee recognition programs create a positive work environment and a motivated staff. And the employees really won't care unless they know that we care. Technology, leveraging your technology and alarm automation wherever and whenever possible. Leveraging technology will lead efficiency and flexibility and have the software tools, again, work for you and not the other way around. And don't forget that telephone system and take a look at opportunities for how you might more efficiently route calls. And then the customer. It's important to know who the customers are, what their expectations are. Customer education is key so that there are no surprises. When that phone rings, for that first alarm verification call, or you're calling out on a late event, a late closing, or they opened early, they want to know what's going to happen. Providing customers with a simple what to expect from your alarm company document for those most common type of events is a real effective way to educate your customers on your products, on your services, and what they're going to receive from you. The Bull Group offers a comprehensive array of alarm monitoring automation and integrated financial management solutions to achieve optimal business performance. When life safety is on the line, your operators don't have time to navigate through complicated software. Our alarm monitoring software is designed to be intuitive and comprehensive, with tools to help your operators become faster and more efficient. If you'd like to learn more about the information shared today, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to meet with you and help you enhance your company's operational efficiency. So, time for questions. If you have questions, you can go ahead and use the question tool there in the GoToMeeting.
we do have one question here who has been presenting this and probably came in just a little bit late. Dan, would you like to reintroduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Dan Reynolds. I'm Vice President of Operations with Bowl Group. I joined the company about 18 months ago after about a 24-year career with a few different alarm companies. So it's an opportunity for me to leverage what I know for our software products and services. So well, you're an easy group. But again, don't hesitate. If you do have questions even after the fact, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to me directly as well. So as a reminder, this recorded webinar will receive a copy in your email tomorrow. It'll be available in Bold U for those of you who subscribe to Bold U. So thanks again for attending. Have a great day, stay safe, and take care of your employees and your customers.